Guys, welcome on in to another episode, Getting Wild with Terry and Friends, MLB Trends and Betting Picks. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's slate. But before we do that, we'll take a look at what happened yesterday on yesterday's slate, and we'll jump right into it here. Spencer Steer over 1.5 bases, did not cash. This game obviously delayed because of rain, but that's no excuse. He still didn't find a way to get I don't even believe he got a hit. So not the best game here for Spencer Steer. Yesterday, Riley Green, over 1.5 hit, run, and RBIs. Of course, he got 2 hits in his first at bats. A great game from him yesterday. So that was an easy winner there. No sweat. Juan Soto had success, 2 for 2 with 2 home runs against Reese Olson, but did not get a hit in yesterday's game. So unfortunate loser there with Soto. Nathaniel Lowe didn't score a run. Texas Rangers got their butt handed to them by the Kansas City Royals, which was a bit surprising. Danny Jansen was confirmed in the Blue Jays game, so I did pull the trigger on over 1.5 bases, which cashed, and then the home run, which did not cash yesterday. Willie Castro, over 1.5 hit, run, RBIs. That was a nice winner. Willie Castro, a big reason why the Twins have won 11 games in a row, because they've been getting consistent offense from him game after game. And then the Miami Marlins Oakland Athletics game, Abraham Toro cashed his multiple bases. Tyler Nevin did not. He did not have a good game yesterday, but that's going to happen. Guys are going to have good games. Guys are going to have bad games. Just hopefully they don't all decide to have bad games when I bet on them, which seems to be the case lately. But it is what it is. Leafs lose in 7. Oh, well. Yeah, I did the hockey video. So anybody that wants to see my 2 plays in tonight's Game 7, that is on the channel in the show that I did last night for that. But hey, it's Game 7 again. We know what's happened in the past to the Leafs, but I don't know. It wouldn't shock me the way Boston's played the last few games to see the Leafs finally do it. But we'll have to see what happens there. Moving on to today's slate. First game here coming up right away. And I like the first 2 games a lot. So Detroit, plus 140 to plus 148. The Yankees, minus 161 to minus 170. 7.5s right across the board here in this game. Hey, Detroit gave it their best yesterday and was leading pretty much the whole game. And then the Yankees get the 2-1 win. So now Detroit is going to look to bounce back from that. Casey Mize on the mound for Detroit. 1-0 in 5 starts with a 3.08 ERA. He's been pretty consistent, giving up 5 to 6 hits, around 2 earned runs in his last few starts, and then 2 to 6 strikeouts. The one game he didn't give up a run, a win against Minnesota. So that's pretty good the way the Twins have been playing recently for him to get that win. Clark Schmidt on the other side for the Yankees. Coming off a loss in his last game where he actually did play pretty well against Baltimore. 5.2 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, but 3 walks. Overall, he hasn't been horrible lately. 1 to 3 earned runs, 3 to 7 hits, 5 to 7 strikeouts. So he's been pretty consistent as well for the Yankees. We're going with Riley Green, and we're doubling up on him. So if you missed yesterday's show, all player props are half units plays for me now. So wanted to clarify that. But we're taking Riley Green over 1.5 hit, run, and or RBIs plus 115, and then over 1.5 bases plus 170. Plus 170 is such a great price. He is 2 for 3 against Clark Schmidt. So had success when he faced him previously. Riley Green, multiple bases in 4 games in a row. I 2 or more hit, run, or RBIs in 5 of his last 6 games. He's got a hit in 10 of his last 11 games. He's been extremely consistent for the Detroit Tigers, so we'll take him here in the first game of the day. Over 1.5 hit, run, and RBI, and over 1.5 bases to hit Clark Schmidt around a little bit here in this one. No Yankees props. Staying off Soto today. Really, other than him and Anthony Rizzo, they're the 2 most consistent players for the Yankees right now. But we'll move on along to our second game here, which is the Boston Red Sox and the Minnesota Twins. Boston plus 145 to plus 157. Minnesota minus 172 to minus 180. 7.5s right across the board. So Minnesota continued their winning streak yesterday. Obviously, before they faced some weaker opponents. Boston, not necessarily one of the strongest teams in the MLB, but they have a winning record at 18-15. And the Twins got the job done yesterday, looking to get it done again today. Brennan Bernardino is starting for Boston, but he is an opener. So he's only going to pitch here around 1 inning. It looks like Pablo Lopez on the other side for Minnesota, who's 2-2 in the season, 4.83 ERA in 6 games, but not necessarily pitching as well as we might have expected so far this year. But the Twins are winning games right now. Looking at this one, I like player props on both sides. Jarren Duran, over 1.5 bases, plus 130. Duran has been playing very well. Didn't hit his props yesterday, which I like him to bounce back here today. He's got a hit and a run in 5 of his last 6 games. He's got multiple bases and an RBI in 4 of his last 6. So he's been playing pretty well. 3 for 3 against Pablo Lopez, all 3 doubles. So 3 extra base hits and 3 at bats against Pablo Lopez. We'll go with Duran over 1.5 bases. And then Willie Castro, as I mentioned in the recap yesterday, or the recap of yesterday's show, he has been fantastic for Minnesota. A hit in 14 of his last 15 games, multiple bases in 6 of his last 7. He's got a run in 5 of 7, an RBI in 6 of 9. And if you wanted to go with the hit, run, RBI instead of the total bases, you could do that. He's got one, at least 2 hit, run, or RBIs in 8 of his last 9 games. So he's been extremely consistent for the Twins. I decided to go with over 1.5 bases here. It's a better price here at plus 155, and we'll take him to get multiple bases in this one. Moving on along to our next game is the Toronto Blue Jays and the Washington Nationals here. Toronto minus 158 to minus 166. Washington plus 140 to plus 146. 8s right across the board. And right off the bat, looking at this game, I said it on previous shows about the Miami Marlins should not be favorite against anybody. And obviously, I'm not going to say that about the Blue Jays here, but minus 158 to minus 165 with how this Blue Jays team has been playing right now, there's absolutely no way I could look at the Blue Jays whatsoever. If I was betting a side here in this game, I'd be looking at Washington. Maybe if you are one of the people that are betting the DraftKings up 2 runs promo, maybe you want to take a look at Washington here at a nice dog price. Gosman on the mound, and he has started to turn things around recently for the Jays. Each of his last 3 starts, he's given up 1 or 0 earned runs. So he is starting to look like the Kevin Gosman most people expect after a really rough start to the season. Jake Irvin for Washington. A win against Miami, which everyone and their mother is doing. 4 hits, 2 earned runs. A rough start against the Dodgers 12 hits, 6 earned runs. He got smacked around by the Dodgers. But the previous game against the Dodgers, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk. So he was fantastic in that one. Not so much in the second meeting. Pretty good against Miami. Now he faces this Toronto Blue Jays team, which is just not playing well. Not playing well at all. But there is one player that is playing well, and that's Danny Jansen. We're going back to him over 1.5 bases, plus 114. I think it's plus 114. That seems like a weird number, but I might have made a mistake there. It might be plus 115, but a home run plus 400 as well. I like him to continue on playing well here. As long as he is in the lineup, I will quickly check that and see if we have any news. No, there is rain. There is rain on a few games on today's slate, including this one and the next game we're going to talk about as well. But that's Mother Nature. I just hope that if the rain is going to affect the game, that they call it beforehand or delay it beforehand and don't start playing and then delay it afterwards. But it is what it is there. Um, Also for Washington, CJ Abrams, who's been a very good player for the Nationals. He's 3 for 3 against Gosman, all 3 singles. So no extra base hits or anything. He's had success against Gosman. Um, just looking at it though, multiple bases in 4 of 7, so 4 games yes, 3 games no. Gosman's starting to turn things around here, so ultimately I stayed off CJ Abrams. But if you wanted a prop for the Nationals, I would look at him potentially for a run. That's what I was looking at. CJ Abrams for a run. He's got that in 7 of his last 9. Didn't end up pulling the trigger, but that is something I'd look at. The next game, which, as I said, also has rain scheduled, Miami Marlins, Oakland Athletics. Miami plus 110 to plus 117. Oakland minus 125 to minus 130. Sevens right across the board here in this game. On the mound for Miami is Trevor Rogers. Let me bring it up here. 0-4 with a 4.31 ERA so far this season. In 6 starts, Miami's lost all 6 starts that he has started. Obviously, not all of those being his fault. He does play for Miami, which is going to give you losses the way this team has been playing this year. What did Miami decide to do after winning 3 games in a row? They decided to trade away Luis Arias, their best offensive player. So that's a bit puzzling. However, 3 wins in a row. We're all against Colorado. So that's nothing really to jump up and down about. Miami realizing that this team is going to have a very rough season, decided to make it even rougher and trade away Luis Arias, which was a bit surprising yesterday. Paul Blackburn on the other side for Oakland, absolutely lights out in his first 3 starts, not giving up a run. Going 1-0 in those 3 starts, but recording no earned runs. His last 3 starts, 3 earned runs, 4 earned runs, and then 6 earned runs in his last start against Baltimore. However, in his 6 starts, Oakland is 5-1. They've won 5 of his 6 starts, including that game against Baltimore in the last game where he gave up 6 earned runs. Oakland still finding a way to win. The only game they lost was against the Yankees in New York. Otherwise, they've beaten Baltimore, Cleveland, Detroit, Washington, and St. Louis. So some weaker teams in there, some stronger teams. Blackburn is starting to give up some runs lately, but now he faces this Miami Marlins team. Deja vu. We're going right back to the players we took yesterday. Abraham Toro over 1.5 bases plus 140. Cashed it for us yesterday. Both of these players, the top 2 players against left-handed pitchers. And yes, we're going back to Tyler Nevin because I just know that yes, he had a bad game yesterday, but if you jump off him, that's when he's going to hit everything. So sticking with it here one more time. Over 1.5 bases plus 140. And the home run prop was plus 700 yesterday. Now it's a plus 1,000. Yes, there's rain, but plus 1,000 for a player who's hit a home run in 3 of his last 5 games. I absolutely have to take it, which is what I did. Nevin, over 1.5 bases in 4 of his last 5. Abraham Toro, over 1.5 bases in 4 games in a row. So that's what we're looking at here for the Oakland Athletics. And final game of the night, which is includes my favorite play, or favorite plays, I guess you could say, of the night. San Diego Padres heading to Arizona to face the Diamondbacks. San Diego plus 105 to plus 112. Arizona minus 121 to minus 130. 8.5. Looks like North Star has a 9 available here. In this game, on the mound for San Diego is Michael King, 2-3 with a 5 ERA so far this season. He has lost 3 games in a row. His last start against Philadelphia, 6 earned runs, 4 earned runs the previous start against Colorado, and then 1 earned run and a loss against Milwaukee, which he actually did pitch very well in that game, but ended up recording the loss. On the other side, Brandon Pfaadt for the Diamondbacks, 2 earned runs in each of his last 3 starts, 5 to 6 hits, facing Seattle, St. Louis, and the Chicago Cubs. Now he's facing a stronger offense here in this one, and really the best offense he's faced has been Atlanta, where he got rocked for 8 hits and 5 earned runs. He's given up at least 1 home run, in 4 of his last 5 starts. So he is definitely susceptible to the home run, and I'm probably going to add 1 more play in this game. So we are playing Jake Cronenworth. Over 1.5 bases plus 110, RBI plus 170, and I'm going to add a 1/4 unit on the home run as well for Mr. Cronenworth here. Why are we taking him? Well, I was looking at him yesterday, but facing a good pitcher yesterday, so ultimately I stayed off, but that didn't matter for him. He's got a run in 6 of his last 7 games, a hit in 7 games in a row, a home run in 3 of 5, including last night, multiple bases in 5 of his last 6, and he's recorded an RBI in 6 of his last 7. So Cronenworth is cashing everything. He is 2 for 6 against Brandon Pfaadt, both singles, but he is absolutely hitting the ball well right now. So we're going to triple up on him. Over 1.5 bases, RBI, and home run for Jake Cronenworth here in the final game of the night. Picks and Parlays exclusive play. I am on a cold streak. I'm not going to try to hide it. I am on a cold streak when it comes to premium plays. But if you believe that today is the day where things turn around and you do want to purchase my play, I do have a play in MLB, which is available up on the site at 4 p.m. Eastern. Then there's the NHL play, but if you want the NHL play, you can just go watch the NHL show that I did last night, and you'll get my premium play there. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. Appreciate all the support. No show tomorrow, unless I change my mind, but probably no show tomorrow, and then we'll be back Monday, normal time. When it comes to tomorrow's plays, check the spreadsheet in the description below. Check the spreadsheet anyway later on today. I may end up getting to some more plays, but favorite plays I've already given out. So thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you guys on the next show. Thanks, guys. Best of luck today.